Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's Natter. I am very excited to have you with us. This is, I think it's our fifth episode that I've got going now, and the feedback has been absolutely brilliant. So each week I interview someone from a network marketing background, like myself, and then the following week it's someone from a more traditional business that has seen a growth in business since the pandemic. And so many different businesses are having to adapt. It's just fantastic to see how people are thinking on their feet and absolutely growing as a result. So if you're listening in live, if you click the StreamYard button, it will allow us to see any comments from your Facebook so that we can see you chatting, so we can see your names. So for those of you that don't know me, my background is actually in traditional marketing. I have done everything from selling advertising to working as an account handler in a big agency for actually House of Fraser, and then running my own speed dating company, which was a lot of fun. I was then bought out by a bigger speed dating company and got made redundant, then started my family. So I was mum at home. I'd massively lost my confidence being mum at home and basically fell into network marketing. Someone had been asking me for 10 years to look at the industry. It happened to be my mum, and I finally got started. And 15 years later, I've got one of the biggest businesses in the world with our company, and I'm actually the top business owner in the UK. So lots and lots of experience, and a lot of that comes from marketing. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to introduce a friend of mine who actually came to train my team about 7 years ago at our head office in Warwick. So this is when we first started using Facebook to grow our businesses, which has been absolutely amazing. And actually I did write a book as well on how social media helped my business grow. And Todd came and trained the team with some amazing Facebook skills and also Instagram skills. I have to say, for the 7 years I was just using Facebook, have moved over to Instagram now as well, but I'm very much still learning on that. But Todd's business has absolutely flourished. So let me bring him on, give him lots of love hearts as he comes on. And here he is, Mr. Graham Todd, or better known as the Cowboy. Tell us a bit about yourself, Todd.
Howdy, thanks for having me on. I'm pleased to be here. Nice to be called your friend. That's rather lovely. I thought we fell out.
We haven't yet, have we? We might do after this.
Well, it's 25 minutes, so I'll have a go.
So tell us a little bit how you got into your online, your marketing agency.
Yeah, so really brief story, but I used to drive a van, worked for a wine merchant in Warwick actually, and started using Twitter long time ago, and really loved it. Just knocked around on it, got bored of it. I thought, oh, it's just boring trying to sell. Even selling wine was difficult. So I thought, oh, I'll just have a laugh with it. And the company I worked for were good fun, really supportive of just share anything. Share this. We've broken some wine. We're drinking port at 9 a.m. in the morning. And I just had a real laugh with it. And then one thing led to another. And I accidentally created like a little networking community around here. There's about 300 business owners, all varying types of businesses. And it was just brilliant. Raised money, had fun. Some people fell in love. Someone got married out of it. Two people, obviously. And I fell in love. And I met my partner, Joe, and we had a baby 3.5 years ago. So our daughter's now 3. And it all came from Twitter and social media. And yeah, 2013, I quit everything. My marriage, my job, my house, started a business. And here I am, still doing it.
So, and what would you say you love most about social media and how important that is to business?
I think, we're going through a tough time now with across the globe being separated. And what I absolutely love about social, certainly with business, is the networking, it's the connections, and it's the way you can use it after you've had those kind of real life networking meetings. So I've been able to keep in contact and build on relationships throughout lockdown and make new ones from Zoom meetings, and do the same and be like, well, okay, we had a Zoom, I'll screenshot the chat. Now I'll find you on LinkedIn, and you've got Instagram, and then you continue talking there. I just think it's amazing that you can continue to network all the time. And it does allow people to get to know who you are rather than that kind of stiff, boring networking thing that I avoided for years. I just love the fact.
Very important when you're presenting yourself on social media, would you say, to be the true version of yourself?
100%. It's like one of my main drivers for doing this, for getting into being a business owner. And you know, there was no book or course. One day I just started. It was hilarious. But so many people are not themselves. They're scared to be themselves, and they hide behind their business or their brand or what they think they should be. And, you know, I guess we all do that to a point. You know, your parents try to teach you to be a certain way when you go to, you know, family occasions, and, you know, pull your socks up and say, don't say these things. And your uncle's a bit overweight, don't say he's fat. You know, you're kind of told not to say things. And so we're kind of scared, I think, as adults. Lots of your inner mind is from your childhood. But actually, when you are yourself, it's so powerful.
Yeah. Because I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, is, you know, maybe whether someone's working in network marketing, whether someone is running a photography company, whether they are, I don't know, looking to be teachers, whatever, they're looking at other people and thinking, well, I want to be that person, they're successful, but you can only be the best version of yourself. So it is taking those bits and tweaking it, isn't it? But making it very much you. Yeah.
And I think it's easy to say, right? You and I are quite comfortable in our own skin. I think we quite like what we do, and it takes you time to get there. There was certainly a time, definitely when I was in the job, where I wasn't myself, and there was a little bit of a facade when I was at work, but social media kind of gave me that alter ego, and or at least I thought it was, but it actually wasn't. It was me, and then people liked me, and I was like, well, people like me. Why don't I just be me a bit more? And sure, some people don't like me. And some people are like, I don't like him. He annoys me.
But not everybody's going to like everybody. And that's the beauty of social media. You're only going to build up a rapport with people like you. So for me, you know, I am a mum, and I naturally build up rapport with mums very easily, which is why my business has gone very much that way, because you are being the best version of you. Whereas, you know, you're a very different persona on your social media than I am.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like you have to be comfortable doing it, but then you have to be comfortable with who you are. You kind of have to really, really know who you are, because it's reflected back in who you attract. And one thing that I've always had to have a conversation with clients, and we do loads of training, like you mentioned, the training we did with your guys years ago. Can't believe that was 7 years ago. I think it was, though. And loads of people say, oh, I'm worried about the negative comments. I'm worried about what people might say. And do you know what? I am unapologetically myself. You can ask any of my connections. Todd says what he thinks. He shoots from the hip. It's very on brand for my Wild West brand. How often do I get trolled, negative comments? Like, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you the last time it happened. But that's our greatest fear of being ourselves on social, is that what if someone doesn't like it?
Do you know what, Todd? If you're not being trolled, you're really not successful.
Damn it.
I'm sure there's some trolling out there. Do you know what I mean? Because not everybody's going to like all of us all the time, and that's okay. You know, when you're at school, not everyone's going to like you, but you have to learn that that's okay. In fact, here's one of your biggest fans saying hello to you, Natalie Tilsley. She actually worked with me and has gone on to do other things, because, you know, network marketing gives you so many skills, and now she's got an absolutely banging cleaning company, which is literally grown from strength to strength. So all of those online skills are so portable. It's just pretty incredible. So what would you say your business, your social media has done for you on a personal level?
I guess I've kind of covered it in the previous question, but it really has. I mean, I'm not making it sound bigger than it is, but it's genuinely changed my life. And that's quite a big thing to say. But back in 2012, I was in a relationship I didn't like, in a job I didn't like, and I lived in a little village in Rugby I didn't like. And social media gave me that opportunity to meet great people, find great opportunities. And it did genuinely change my life. Like, if you'd have met me 10 years ago, I was nothing like I am now. No, absolutely nothing, because it's enabled me to meet other people. It's enabled me to have opportunities. It's enabled me to learn. It's enabled me to do stuff like this. That's honestly the skill set and the things I do, and the business I run, like I've never trained for this. This social media world has enabled me to find all these things. It's an enabler. And I do think it's massively underused by the majority of its users. People just scroll through the doom scrolling at the moment and have a bit of a tiff or share the odd selfie, and they just don't understand the power of it. I've actually kept my original iPhone 3. I'm gonna keep it forever because it's a piece of life-changing technology that honestly I would just keep saying that for years. It's just a phenomenal thing, and I do think it's underrated. Of course, it's a challenge. Of course, it's spreading fake news, and Donald Trump probably doesn't like it right now, but like it's a huge thing, and it's connecting us. I think imagine a pandemic without social media. Like we would be a wreck right now. It would just be awful.
I mean, for our business, it's been incredible. I mean, you know, very much we were out in people's homes, out every evening, meeting people. And, you know, loads of businesses have had to think, okay, what am I going to do? I need to change this to make it work. You can either sink or swim. So, you know, we decided to swim, and we just took everything online. And now, you know, people that weren't using Zoom are now using Zoom, learning to use these things. You know, it's been incredible. Yeah. And, you know, even my mum's using Zoom at 71 and being able to do it.
I think that's a phenomenal thing for certainly a business like yours that has heavily grown with social and heavily grown with the internet, that now it's not really a choice for the majority of people. And I know people talk about the new normal or when it goes back. Yeah. It's not going anywhere but forward. And so much of what we've done in the past year will come with us. And Zoom meetings, StreamYard, Facebook Lives, connecting online networking, all these things that are actually perfect if you're, like with your audience, a young, a new mum running a business from home. It's absolutely perfect because now you don't need to go to a networking meeting. You don't have to worry about drop-off times for schools. And it's genuinely going to be more popular than it was before. I'm really excited about it all. I think it will make a massive difference. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. You did stall on the young mum bit. You almost said it then, Todd, but I'm not quite in that anymore. Definitely started the business as the young mum 15 years ago, but now, you know, rocking on 45 this year. It's coming to us all day. I've lost my train of thought now then. What was I about to say? So what has it done for your business? Have you experienced growth since the pandemic?
Yes. I mean, it was, I was so afraid when it started. I was the same as most, I guess, Brits in January, whatever, that won't happen. February, oh, hello. Italy, oh. And then in March, I was genuinely scared for everything. I was sanitizing my shopping. And then I worried about the business, and I was like, but March was a tricky one. April sort of leveled in, and now our business is 30, 40, 50% up because we have been active. Joe and I and our team and our business and our brand has been active since the day it was created, since before it was created. So all of that hard work, I just feel like we were building an ark for a storm. And when it came, like
people can come to you and, you know, have your help. And in fact, going back, what I was going to say is I think confidence comes from doing. So particularly with social media, you know, we're all doing things that we're not sure about, but it's about having a go and moving forward and getting better and better as you do it. And then coming to people like yourself to be able to get some tips to tweak. And, you know, because you can't really, well, we can get things wrong, but we grow from getting things wrong. You can never fail, can you?
You can, but you only have to look at things like the Wright brothers and the light bulb that was created, which is now a ring light, like an LED light. You know, and it wasn't a one-off thing. You've got to fail, and failure was tough, and I've struggled with failure for most of my life. But I'm trying as hard as I can to look at it and say, if you don't fail, you almost don't learn, and if you're not failing, like you were saying with trolling, you're really not trying hard enough. Yeah. You're really not pushing yourself.
You know, people's big fear is doing Facebook Lives or any kind of live streaming because you're not totally in control. But I'm sure you'll say to me, the first time you did it, you're a bit like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Is it going to work? Is it going to come out right? But the more you do it,
I know where my first ever live video on the internet was, and it was at Angie's villa in Lanzarote. I remember it vividly on Periscope. I had no idea what I was doing. It was probably rubbish. And then 2 months down the line, I was running workshops on the bloody thing. How do you do it, Todd? I'm like, you just press the button and you talk. Yeah, but how do you really do it?
No doubt, was it Ange from Lanzarote Lates helping you do a Periscope, because she is bang on with all social media and seems to learn it first?
Yeah, so we chatted when I had the job about social, but no, I think I was just at that point. I was happy to try stuff. I'm quite happy to try and do things. And you and I were chatting about this platform before. You know, it's superb. But the biggest opportunity with anything digital marketing is the majority of people are thinking exactly the same as you. What if it goes wrong? And that's your opportunity, because they won't do it. And you will.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I love about you, Todd, is your Facebook community. And that's very much, you know, how I've seen you thrive in the pandemic. And it was only, when was your first networking event that you set up in Leamington? And I came along and supported that, was absolutely heaving, boiling, and just a great atmosphere of similar-minded business owners, or people working for companies that had joined your community. So tell people a little bit about your Facebook group, Spaghetti Besties.
Well, our group is full of small business owners, and you guys, anyone watching this is welcome to find it. Just search Spaghetti Besties. But the thing about it is, it's lots of people say it's a genuinely supportive community, but it really is a genuinely supportive community. We have some fantastic banter, some good stuff, but it's really supportive. Someone reached out the other night and said they're really struggling with it. Everyone helped them out. Someone comes in there and says, how do you do this in Word? Everyone helps them out. They tag their friends and they sort it out. And I just posted on Facebook one night, should we meet up? And 80 people from all over the UK turned up in January in a very hot cellar in Leamington, had some tapas, and it was just fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. Joe's watching, she's put the link in the chat there. But it's absolutely brilliant. I don't know how I can describe Besties, really. It's just, as you say, like-minded business owners where we go to sort of wind down, and it's, if you want to talk really serious stuff about accounts, which has happened because of personal tax in January, you can. But if you want to just have a laugh and have a meme battle with friends, memes, you can do that as well. And it's just really cool. And the event you came to in January was phenomenal, because it attracted people from every corner of the UK, and they all felt like they were old school friends. It's just phenomenal. But if you turn up within a week, you are part of it. It's great.
And tell everyone, the social side as well, it's that community and not feeling alone, because so many business owners are, self-employed, just working for themselves. And I think what Spaghetti Besties does is it brings that community. And I know very much in my industry and our team pages, it's the community that people love, because it can feel so lonely being at home at the moment.
And it was before as well. I totally hear what you say there. Like, it's lonely now because you can't go anywhere. But I remember going to like real life face-to-face networking. Do you remember those when we used to touch other human beings and not feel dirty? We didn't sanitize anything. We should have done. And I used to go to those because I was lonely in my business. The majority of the time before we started hiring people during this crazy time, I worked mostly solely on my own. And Joe would come to the office, and because we worked together running the company. But I went there because I was lonely, and I do think that's what Besties and your communities and stuff are about. And sometimes, it's okay to be a business owner and talk shit on the internet. It's absolutely okay to do that.
I was just going to say, Todd, you also have a bit of fun in there, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
What happened on Friday night?
Friday night, what happens on Friday night stays in Friday night. We have some good fun in there. I'll tell you what it has done. It's helped my daughter sleep. Like Joe and I... Joe gave birth to a gorgeous little girl 3.5 years ago, and she wouldn't sleep. I may have mentioned it on Facebook a little bit at a time, but the guys in there got wind of the fact that we started to encourage her. We don't use the word bribe in our house; it goes against our parenting. But so we encouraged her. She stayed asleep, just in her bed. She'd get a rubber duck, and I kid you not, there's always one somewhere nearby. Here's one. We got sent. So this is an on-brand rubber duck. His hat's a bit wobbly. We got sent about 600 rubber ducks, all different shapes and sizes from that community, just because it was funny. We did live unboxing events in there, and the thing about social, and the thing about the way I've always approached social, and this does surprise people, is I don't plan anything. I have no calendar, no strategy. I don't schedule content. I don't think about what I'm going to post tonight. I do Facebook Lives off the cuff, and people look at my content and then look at what we're doing at Spaghetti. They're like, what planner do you use? What strategy do you use? And I'm like, well, I don't have strategies. Like, it's just like, whoosh. But I've
what's
just
needed right now.
Yeah, just learn to do it. Have a laugh.
And we actually just had this conversation before we came on, wasn't it? Didn't we?
We're both as bad as each other.
Literally, you plan the moment before you do something, because we both said it's about having it fresh in your mind and just being what's needed right now. What am I going to talk about right now?
It comes down to a few things. I think you have to be confident, like we've talked about before, okay with who you are, okay to screw up occasionally. And also, like I talk about it a lot, happy to be in flow. Like, you and I haven't rehearsed this. We don't have a script. Like, a couple of questions I agreed to answer. That's it. And I find that so much better on all forms of content, from training workshops to blogs to webinars to podcasts. It's just better. I don't think I know. Humans are incredibly intelligent. And if you try and fool one by planning ahead, or by not being yourself, or by being a bit of a facade, or having a brand that doesn't match your personality, something somewhere says it doesn't feel right. And that's when it all goes to pot. Whereas if you're yourself, unapologetically, and you do great things because for right reasons, people like it, and it works. And then, that whole structured thing, it doesn't work. It doesn't. I spoke to a business today, like I will speak to one every single day, telling them to stop doing it. Stop doing that over complicated planning stuff. It's rubbish.
And you can't please everybody all of the time, which is the most important thing. So, Todd, what's the best thing and worst thing about social media?
That's a good question. I think it's the same thing. The best and worst thing is it's always there. So it's, at the moment in the pandemic, right? It's great because it can connect you to everyone in the world, but it's also bad because it can do that. We can see terror on a global scale, or we can see lovely things on a global scale. I think you have to appreciate that social media is just a tool, and it's how you use it, and it's how you respond to it rather than react to it. It is, I've fallen in love on it. I've created an amazing human being from it, but I've also fell out with school friends with it. You have to look at it from both sides, really. And, as much as I love it and try and focus constantly on the positive and stuff all the time, you're only a few posts away from an argument or feeling a bit down. And I actually blogged about it a few months ago. I deleted the app off my phone. Most people think of me as the cowboy of social media, and I deleted the Facebook app. I deleted the Twitter app. I removed my email for 72 hours because I got overwhelmed with it. It was too much. And yet, I don't know where I'd be without it. It's an abusive relationship, social media. You just have to know where to stop,
Getting that relationship right and working on it and making yourself try and get better each day, at the end of the day, lines the bank accounts of small businesses, big businesses, medium businesses. There's no escaping it, is there? So, what top tips, just to finish off, would you give? Let's talk about, independent businesses maybe using their social media right now, or how do they find advice about it?
Tons of advice on my blog. If you want to go there, it's all free, small plug. But really, it's a tip that I learned very early on. It's that social media is a conduit to conversation. It gets you conversations. It's the conversations that are important. If you can use it to connect with people and have proper conversations, not, do you want to buy my stuff? That's like an instant no. Slide into people's DMs because you want to help them out. And really, it's about adding and giving value. Like, add value to content. Go to other people's groups, pages, comments, streams, videos, and say great stuff in those things and connect with the people in there. Same with Zoom meetings, and you can apply it to normal networking, but also give value as well. So I'm not being paid to do this. I have no agenda of doing this. You asked me, I think you're great. I knew it would be a good laugh. I'm doing it. I don't really think about it because it's part of what I do. I give value and I add value. And I've always said this to people. It's like perfume and aftershave at Christmas. We all spend a fortune on it, but you don't actually need to buy it, because you can just go into Boots every day and just spray the tester kit on. It's free. It's not illegal. Okay, it's illegal in a pandemic, but you don't need to pay for it, but you do, because you test it, you taste it, you smell it, you like it, and you're more likely to go and buy it. So you can't give enough value away. You can't give enough free tips away. You can't do enough of these lives. You could do 20 lives a day and it wouldn't be enough, because there's always more to do. and it works, and it grows your business. My business has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown, and I look at the common thing, and I'm doing more and more and more and more and more content on social media.
And it is very much, moving and evolving all the time. So, if I look at myself now doing this, and, people look at me and think I'm a confident person, but actually, behind, I'm not that confident, but I can do this because I've learned to do it and I've got out of my comfort zone. When I go back to the speed dating company that I used to run, so imagine you'd get 40 people together in a room. I ran that for 18 months and not once could I stand up and host it. I had to get then my ex-husband to come along and do it for me because I was too silly for speaking. So, I have grown as a person through personal development through doing this. But, we were chatting before, and, for me getting on and doing a live, what I had to do, Todd, was actually put it in my diary. So every Thursday night, I know at 8:30 I'm doing this. So I'm committed. Then giving myself a structure, because I'm going to bore everyone if I just talk about network marketing. I love it. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to be a network marketer. Do you know what I mean? You just get to a point in your life and you're looking for change, and people are either looking or they're not. Exactly. So hence I thought there's so many businesses which I've seen in your community thriving, adapting, that it's a great way to, show people and help people really. And that's what it comes from. Helping people. But by doing this, getting to grips, I didn't know how to use this system, but I just learned, and YouTube videos are the best way to learn things. So I'll have a look on there, I'll ask questions and I'll do it. But this 30 minutes a week actually feeds Facebook, it feeds my YouTube channel, which I've just started. It feeds my IGTV. I didn't even know what that was before. So I've literally just started.
We don't know. We believed it.
And I've got a podcast that's starting because it's going to feed that as well, which will go onto Spotify. And 30 minutes, and you've done 4 different social posts, which is.
Do you know what that will do? Is that will anyone that checks you out today, and this is a really important message as we leave to everyone watching this, is someone will come across you today, they'll meet you, they'll connect with you in real life, and they'll see you and they'll take a bit of an interest. But they're not ready yet. They're not ready to buy from you. They are not ready to do whatever you would like to do with them. I know this from my partner Jo, for months she watched me on Twitter. You'll meet people. And you're better off adding value. You're better off helping them. You're better off just doing this, staying active, staying present, popping up, and being someone that you see on social media and you think, I'm going to look at what they're doing because I find it interesting. It's the anti to what most people do when they start a network marketing business or a business, or they've had a corporate company for 30 years now. I'm going to do LinkedIn. The first thing they do is try and sell. And it's okay if the person you meet today is ready to buy from you. Shoot us, you're going to get a sale most of the time. They're going to put you into a bucket. They're going to think you're one of those network marketers, you're one of those marketers, you're one of those business people. And it's a shame because you could have both helped each other, but you pushed them away by trying to go too soon instead of building the trust, building some rapport, making them smile, helping them out.
Absolutely. And being the best version of yourself rather than being someone else, which I think is so, so important. And, like I said, it took me 10 years to join this industry, and that was my mum badgering me the whole time. And my sister, 17 years, and she's been working with us now. She was a traditional business owner with a bridal shop, but had a kids and it wasn't right to add it. You're going to be speaking now and people are going to remember Spaghetti Agency because it's a buzzy word to remember. They're going to remember that Facebook group, and they might not be ready right now for maybe some of the help that you can give them. But it's about thinking, do you know what? That Cowboy, howdy, he was pretty cool. And there's no one else like you, Todd. And that's what it's all about. It is just being the best version of you. Take tips from other people, but you can never be them.
It's great to take inspiration. I mean, there's so much inspiration in the world. Take the inspiration and take those little bits. And, back in the days of going to these huge events and stuff, I know you guys in Forever are missing those events at the moment, but those big seminars we used to go to, personal development, which we mentioned loads of times, I used to go and take one thing away from it because I think that's what's important. Take that one thing and think I can use that as part of me. It will make me a better me kind of thing. And, it's good to be inspired, but don't try and be the next Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. Jeff Bezos, Boris Johnson. Who else can I get in there? You can't be those people. It's just, you can't, because you're here for.
But what you can do, and something I've done over the years, is actually I've stepped in the shoes of someone that inspires me to take their confidence and courage. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When I've been scared of something, I've thought of the person maybe that inspires me and think, okay, just for this moment when I need to speak on stage, because petrified of doing it. I used to take Imodium before I had to speak. It was literally
heavy drugs.
So I would just be that person and say, okay, I'm going to pretend I'm them, my personality, but their courage. And then slowly that becomes your own. Well, thank you everyone for listening in tonight. It was absolutely a pleasure talking to Todd as my guest. And I do recommend you join his Facebook community, Spaghetti Besties. So do it a search and you will have a massive welcome in there, and you'll get so many tips.
There'll be a day and let you in, because we don't let everybody in. Answer the questions. There are some standards, and then when you get in there, do what the heck you like.
But it's a thriving community,
it's
a
awesome.
safe place to be, where you can have a laugh, and more than anything, you know, right now you don't feel alone. So thanks everyone for joining in. Next week, I will be speaking to someone from the network marketing industry. Feel free to get in touch with me if you'd love to be on Nat's Natter. And if you have a traditional business that has boomed, I would love to hear from you too. For now, it's over and out, and we will catch you very soon. Thanks very much, Todd.
Thank you.